because they like their mics. I hate my mic. It gets in the way.
How long is this meeting going to go, Mr. Garish? About, do you think?
It's all up to you folks.
Okay,
I can be in and out here in half an hour if you want.
all right, well,
I like that.
Works for me. I'd like to go home and eat dinner.
I like that.
So would I. I got another meeting
Oh,
to go
Dave
to.
knows.
okay, great.
Oh, I like the second to the last one. That's a good
All
one.
right. Everybody's ready? Okay. I'll call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we start, Twyla, I'm just going to let the public know that we decided to make this a public meeting instead of an executive session because we were asked late in the day and didn't have time to get a legal opinion. And after talking with Mr. Garish and Mr. Olmsted, we see that we can make it a public meeting. And we'll make sure that we get the information that people need about executive sessions after this meeting is over. Okay, the first item, Twyla.
Is roll call. Counselor Garrison?
Present.
Counselor Lunt?
Here.
Counselor McTevier?
Here.
Counselor Bickford?
Here.
Counselor Ward?
Here.
Counselor Pesky?
Here.
And Counselor Brunel has been excused. First item on the agenda is the town manager search.
Okay, Mr. Garish.
Thank you. Thank you. What we plan to do this evening, I hope, is to kind of go over a little bit of what I heard at the public session that was held last week and a meeting with your department heads that was held last Thursday. A couple of the department heads couldn't make it, but they sent me information, so I was able to take that. And what I have given you is my notes on what I heard. And I didn't say I heard this 6 times from one person or 3 from this. I tried to give you what I felt the themes I heard as I was talking with everybody. And it's interesting that the themes from staff and the themes from the public session pretty much blend themselves into what you're looking for what people are looking for in a new town manager. Let me just quickly go down through them so the people at home can kind of hear them. A couple of them are funny, a couple of them are pretty good. What I heard that either from the public or the department heads, they want a people person who's open-minded, is a resident of the town, has a strong background in finances, is a visionary, thinks outside of the box, a strong communicator, leader, professional, a decision maker, community-oriented and involved in the community, honest, high integrity, and trustworthy. Heard this a lot, economic development experience, the whole issue of where the town's going and having some experience there. Help the community grow, promote community, and bring community together. Heard that a lot. Supports transparency in government, is open and has the ability to do that. Follows through. Is a great listener, ability to develop a positive attitude, has energy. Is a team builder, holds people accountable, and respects all employees. Ability to work with the school and has experience in small towns. Heard that. That's very interesting when saying somebody that's come from a very large town may not be what you're looking for. So someone maybe the size of Lisbon. Doesn't micromanage, has moral strength, experience with labor negotiations, has the ability to say no respectfully. And one that was interesting was to clone Dale Olmsted. So that was an interesting. So that's in essence what we heard, I heard. And I think this is just a framework of those issues that the community and the department heads felt were important. There's no right answer or wrong answer to these. These are what we'll do is when we get the applications and we send them to you, we'll put a copy of this into the booklet that you have so you can start looking at some of these people and our applicants and see what they have some experience in. And when we do our background checks and when we start talking to the people that apply, we have this also. So, and if you have any others that we've missed, let me know. We'll put it on there. But that's kind of a compilation of what I heard for the qualities. Let me talk a little bit about issues facing Lisbon. Very interesting. It really came down to a handful. I mean, infrastructure was, I heard a lot during the conversation, and tax base and how to grow the tax base. This one is a little controversial, but I heard it a number of times that the community may have been or was split and there's a negativity in the community. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that. So that's an issue, is a new manager's coming in to have a little understanding of that. The school and town relationship, I've heard that's improved, but there's still somebody who can continue working with the schools and the town on just working together for the betterment of the community. The image of the town, what do we really want the town to be? That it's a town in transition that's starting to move, and so that's important. Older community, most of Maine's an older community today with the demographics, but that was raised. So I would hope that you could put this on your website. People could look at it. If they have others that they say that we've missed, have them email me. But any comments on this? Anything that bothers you? Anything that's, we've left out? Because this is information and allows us to go forward.
I think I would like to see somebody that had maybe a little bit of legal. They knew, because it seems like some of ours have been, the last ones were not.
You know the laws. And
Yeah,
so
know
I
the
had to ask
laws.
the lawyer every little
Right.
thing all the time, which was
And
an
could
issue that we
probably
had.
also understand our charter a little bit. That would be really helpful.
I'm not sure that's a trait. I mean, that's an ability. So I can add familiarity with Maine laws and ordinances and things like that. That would be an easy one to put on.
That would be good.
Yeah. Anything else that you folks had that we missed? It's pretty all-encompassing. If you get somebody who can do all this, you've got a good person that can come into you.
Yeah.
I do think, Don, that we did discuss, we've heard a lot from folks that they want the person who is our new town manager to be a resident, and I think that's a great idea. But we also discussed the pros and cons in terms of what if we found the greatest guy in the world, but he lives in Litchfield, and it doesn't make sense to ask him to move. So I think we should still keep that.
Well, I put it down as, I heard that some people said a resident in the town. Once we get to the ad, that's going to be more of a discussion that we'll have in a
Okay.
few moments here. This is more what I heard, and then we'll get into the ad because that's
Right.
really the crux of it, so. And anytime anyone thinks of something else, let me know, but I think that is what I heard. So, then it came, I had to try to put an ad together that talks about Lisbon, and I say this all the time, there's no pride in authorship, so if you feel you want to add something or do something else, that's fine with me. But I tried to think along of what, and I spoke about this with the public session, what are the things that Lisbon wants to let the world know about it? So let me just read what I put together. Again, this is a draft, and we can make a change in it. The town of Lisbon is accepting applications for the position of town manager. Lisbon, situated. Now, are we in central Maine, or are we mid-coast Maine? Or I struggled with this a little bit, so what do we consider ourselves?
Lewiston is one, Possum's another, so we're in the middle.
That is true. It's true, yeah. Brunswick Thompson's considered mid-coast.
Exactly.
Right on the border of
Lisbon
the
Auburn's
coast.
considered central Maine, so
But
We're
I
like
first
this.
had, to be honest with you, I first had mid-coast Maine, then I said, no, let me put central Maine, and,
we're either situated comfortably between the two.
Right.
well,
Mid-coast might make people think, it's
yeah,
coastal. They're coming
I
from
like
out of
central Maine
state,
just
you know,
because
wanna-
you're right. You don't
Up
want to
here
put
and think,
coastal,
if
mid-coast.
Somebody drives up here from, Massachusetts and goes, where's the coastline? I don't want to work here. This isn't what I was offered, it was what I thought it was going to be.
So that was one area that I
Right.
I wasn't quite sure.
Just like Greg said, nestles comfortably between the mid-coast and central.
There you go. And uniquely having two rivers.
Okay, and then I put along, situated in central Maine along the Androscoggin River and the you want to add another river in there?
Nevadas River.
On the Androscoggin and Sabattis, yes.
Okay. Is within 30 miles of Maine's two largest cities and the state capital. That was talked about a little bit the other day. That helps people, as I said this the other day, somebody who wants to come up here and they have a spouse that works for a legal firm. They might want to know, well, gee, Portland, Augusta, Lewiston, Auburn, they might have an opportunity to work there. So I thought that was something that we kind of shows where the community is. It's an active residential commercial community and home to the world-famous Moxie Festival. What else you want to say? I was trying to think of the right words, but I came up with active. If you have other words, let me know, but this is the hardest part when I don't know the community real well. I mean, I think this is okay, but population, I looked at the census, is 9,000, has a municipal operating budget, including a sewer department. That's important to put in there because a lot of communities don't have a sewer department, of 7.3 million, but excluding schools, and there are 80 full-time, let's just say full-time equivalent. You don't have all that many. Any thoughts on that first paragraph? Anything? Well, then I just put down, Lisbon operates under a town charter with a town council, town manager form of government with a 7-member council elected with 3-year staggered terms. That's just to let the person know what type of government. Now, this is the area where you start putting in the words that are important. And what I proposed, the council is seeking candidates with a minimum of 5 years, and that can be debated, but I put 5 years, of demonstrated municipal management experience as a manager or similar related position. This says we'd like someone as a municipal manager, but if you have a manager in other capacity in the private sector, we'll accept those. Knowledge and experience in the areas of economic development, finance, strategic and long-term planning, budgeting, labor relations, policy and project management are desired. Superior visionary with excellent leadership and organization skills, excellent oral and written communicator with strong collaboration and conflict management skills, and strong customer service advocate skills are required. So that's a mouthful, but it's trying to get all those adjectives in that I think I heard when I was meeting with everybody. Mm-hmm. I like this last sentence. A leader who can inspire trust and confidence with integrity, honesty, transparency, and humor, combined with creative problem solving, will be essential. Just kind of adds a personal flavor of what we're looking for. Applicants will possess a bachelor's degree in business or public administration or a closely related field. A master's degree in public or business administration is preferred, and salary, the rest of it's pretty perfunctory. Just so you'll know, the way Dick and I do this is we swap off who gets the resumes. So this time Dick's getting all the resumes from Lisbon. I'm getting them from Wiscasset. But what happens is once we get them, we send them to each other, and then that's how we look at them and work at them. So that's where we are. If we could get the ad down where we're, pretty much knows where it is, I can put another draft out, take another quick look, and we can get this out and start moving. So any thoughts? 5 years minimum. Auburn did 10 years. That's the only one we've ever done that had one at 10 years experience. Most communities think the 5 years is where they're looking for. So that's just one. But the other area is, are you going to say that the candidates have to live within the town of Lisbon? That's what we need to put in this. If you're going to say that, then we have to put it in this
I would
ad.
like to see that happen, but really, it comes down to it. I can't make them come in and buy a house here that's not what they want when Thompson or Litchfield would have it, or Sabattis would have it.
Yeah, I'd say like residency preferred but negotiable, something like that.
Negotiable,
That, you know,
yeah.
we're
Yep,
willing
that-
to negotiate with
Thank you,
them,
Mark.
but
Yeah.
maybe, well, you know,
Or
if they're already
surrounding
close
town.
by, you know, is one thing, but, you know, again, don't move here from
Right.
Massachusetts and say, I'm gonna live in Auburn instead because I
Right.
don't like your town, or,
And I
you
think
know,
it would.
maybe we'll pay you a little less if you don't wanna live in town, if that's.
I would say if they have to move anyway, we'd want them to move here
Yeah.
in Lisbon. But if they live in a surrounding town,
Yeah.
that's,
I think what you just said, that, you know, residency preferred but is negotiable, that gives you the opportunity. Yeah, if someone's moving here from Massachusetts, you can
Right.
say, we want you to live in Lisbon. If you have a candidate that lives in Topsom or Sabattis or
Right.
Lewiston,
Yeah.
that's a top candidate,
we'd
you
consider.
know,
Right, yeah.
yeah, I think that's what you probably ought to look at. Because if you say you just want them to live here, it narrows down your field, especially in the very near
But
vicinity.
without travel pay.
Pardon?
But without
We're not gonna
travel pay.
pay travel pay.
Yeah, we can't travel.
Yeah, I think if, I agree that the language should be so that we can negotiate it, because we wouldn't want to limit the pool of candidates because somebody lives 2 towns away or finds the perfect house for his family, or, you know, most families are two working people, so I think that saying it's negotiable is a
Yeah, the
good
other
idea.
part of that is sometimes it's, you know, negotiable to say, or someone will come in and say, I have a junior in high school that I want to finish them going to the high school, and then part of your contract might say after that you'll move. So there are some situations where you can negotiate that in a contract with them.
Right, like when my dad moved here as the manager, and we were still living over in New Hampshire for 6 months while we were finishing out the school year, and then moved over during the summer, so he was commuting back and forth on weekends to New Hampshire. So, you know, it's gonna be, you have to be realistic with what somebody's housing situation is, family.
Yeah, and it's really going to come down to your negotiations and the candidates you see, and you're looking at them and seeing if that right person is coming from northern Maine, that's a good, or that right person lives in,
Right, if you have 2 people that are about equal and one of them is willing to live in town,
Exactly.
then maybe that's the, you know, thing that makes us pick
Deal
that guy
breaker,
over the other, you know, to be the tiebreaker. But you don't want to, like, you know, have that person not apply because, yeah, you know, I don't want to have to move one town over, so they just don't even put in their application.
okay, so we'll add residency in Lisbon preferred, but is negotiable. We'll put that in. That sends the message to the candidates.
I think we do need to have something, as Roger was saying, about, you know, familiarity with Maine, like, laws and ordinances is a benefit, because, you know, if somebody's moving from out of state, they have to make effort to learn that, or if they're in state and they don't really have a firm grasp on that, they need to work on that.
I'll add it in under that first long sentence. We'll put knowledge, experience in areas of, and I'll add
Yeah.
Maine
It goes
Maine
to that.
laws and state of Maine laws and ordinances or something. I'll add something in there.
Legal advice adds up fast.
Yeah. So what did we decide about Central Maine? That's the one that,
I think we usually consider ourselves part of Central Maine.
Yeah, I
but-
think we
I'd
do
leave
too.
it the way you got it.
Yeah, just leave it Central Maine.
okay, yeah, the more you're closer really, you're closer to Lewiston. I know Lisbon.
Don't mention Lewiston.
No, well, I didn't. I just said the 2 largest cities you saw.
Right, say
But
40 minutes north of Portland or something, if you want to be more specific. But, you know, mention Lewiston.
39 minutes.
Right.
Sounds
Depends on
good.
who's-
Mark,
Right,
I'm
yeah.
working with a lot of the people that lost it on a project.
I was gonna say you haven't ridden with my wife.
Well, Lewiston's a good place, but I mean, the reputation is sometimes.
So if you all agree to this, what's going to happen, I will tomorrow put another draft, it's up, and send it to Lisa or somebody, just to give me the okay, and you can send it to everybody, but the sooner I get it back, the sooner I can get it out and start advertising in.
Okay.
And so,
You'll send that to me tomorrow?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll finish it, I'll go home tonight and redo it. Now, we are planning to advertise, so we're all clear on this, planning to advertise at MMA website, there's no cost to that. A Maine Job Bank, there's no cost to that. Advertise in ICMA, which is the International City Managers Association, it's $450 for a month's ad there. It's money well spent. My opinion, you're going to get people from all over the United States applying. Put it on your website here. I would suggest you do that. We are not recommending you do any advertising in newspapers. It's just, I was doing Castine, and they wanted to run an ad in the Bangor Daily News weekend edition, and it was $900 to, just to.
For a weekend.
Yeah. And it's just that people today are looking for their positions in, you know, through these websites. And I would suggest that, and I'm sure I'm not sure. I'd suggest that you have the Times Record maybe and the Lewiston Journal do a story that you're out looking, here's your job. You know, they can do a story about it, save you a lot of money having to put it as an ad out there, so. As I said, the deadline would be, we had that time frame we had put together, is April 9th. We would have to you the booklet with who we are. I think you all know this, but let me just go over there. We're going to get all the resumes are coming to us. We will take the resumes. We will review them. We will give you a booklet with the top 10, 12, 15, how many we think kind of meet the qualifications you're looking for. I will bring, when we meet with you, a copy of every single resume, and if anybody wants to look at them, you can. That's up to you. I suspect you're going to get somewhere between 30 and 40 applications for this position. And so we will put together this booklet. We will have it delivered to the chair or to somebody, because it's all confidential once we get these applications. And then we'll give them to you on a Friday. We'll meet sometime that next week in executive session. That will be executive session. And we will talk about who you want to interview. We will then schedule those interviews, do the interviews, narrow it down, have the second round of interviews. The finalists will be told that if they're a finalist, their name will be public. We will expect them to come, meet in a community gathering, meet the department heads. It's a process that we've used. We used it in Auburn. We've used it in all the communities lately, and it seems to be a good process. So I just want to make sure you all are aware where we're going. We're shooting for having you folks make a decision by your May 20th meeting. Now, we need a little flexibility there, depending on what happens. And the other thing I would point out to you is that even if you name somebody or have an agreement, it may be 30 or 45 days before that person comes on board. If they're working now, they're going to need to give their community that notice. So that's the schedule. We're moving along. Dick will be back from Florida to help me out on all this. I was in Florida, and he took care of part of it. So we're ready to go. We appreciate, you know, you selecting us, and I think we've got a good process and one that I think will find you a manager. I tell all the elected officials, it only takes one candidate, the right one, you know. So if you don't get as many, we will, once we get each week, we will send you an email, tell you how many applications we got. We will tell you how many from Maine, how many from New England, and we don't tell you names, but we just start doing that. So we'll keep you abreast of what's going on. Just so you'll know, you don't get most of your applications till that last few days. People kind of wait, so don't be surprised if you get 4 the first week. And that's the way it works. So I just wanted to go over quickly the process, and if there's any questions. We do complete background checks. Anybody that we recommend to you in the list, we'll have either already done preliminary checks with, or we will do preliminary checks with them to make sure they understand process, understand everything about it. When you narrow it down, we do complete checks, which is financial, criminal, checking resumes, doing resume checks, but also anybody that they've worked with, or we will do all that follow-up and give you a written report on each one of them. So hopefully make your lives as easy as we can. The only other thing you need to think about, and we talked about this a little the other night, and I don't know if you have talked about it, you need to think about what your salary is going to be. Because we don't print what the salary is. We found that a good candidate's going to do their homework and going to figure out where the previous manager was. If there's going to be a change, a dramatic change in where you think the salaries ought to be, then we need to know that, because we'll talk with all the candidates before we bring them in here. So you don't have to make that decision tonight. I'm not asking you to, but you need to think about where you want to be salary-wise. I think your other benefits, I would hope, are pretty reasonable with other communities, but salary will be an issue. And if you get someone from out of state, you're going to have to pay some moving expenses, so you all know how it works. Most communities pay a one-time lump sum as someone who's moving from Massachusetts, you know, $5,000, $6,000. That's normal in the world. So, and normally we do 3-year contracts. I mentioned this the other night at the public meeting. That's the world we're living in. Protects both the elected officials and the manager for what's going on. So I've rattled on. Any questions I can answer?
Don, would you, if you would email the list of qualities and issues to me, I'll forward it to our
Yeah, I'll do
administrative
them both.
assistant.
I will do them both tomorrow.
Okay, because that way we can have these notes put on the website for everyone to see.
Good, and if, you know, tell Dale to put my Eaton Peabody email address if someone wants to email me something. Save all you from getting it. If it gets to me, I can add it and let you know, so.
I actually got a couple of emails just within the past 24 hours from folks that I thought had some really good points, and they weren't able to make it to the public forum, so I
I
may
would look
just
at the
forward.
list, and if you see anything that's really different from it, let me know, but
Okay,
again, it's trying to get, you can't put everything, but there's themes here, and I think that's what we were trying to do.
okay,
We're hiring
Okay.
for a position, not building a robot.
that's right.
You mentioned about all the applications. I don't think we need to see all the applications. If you,
I'm not planning to do it. I will bring, the night we come and talk about the ones we've given you,
yeah.
I will have all the applications, just something we do, and you don't have to look at
I like
them.
to flip through them because I'm a weirdo.
I will tell you now, half of them,
You, Mark.
Oh, I used to do that, sort through it for my dad, you know, here's positions and pick out the, you know,
half of
sort out the
them,
garbage ones first.
yeah,
right,
you
so
know,
they look
half
at the
of them aren't
Right, it's,
qualified, or,
Right, you ask for a manager's position, somebody will apply with, you know, I work 20 hours at an ice cream parlor, and
Yeah.
it's like,
so I'm not saying, I just want to let you know that's what we do, just as normal practice, in case anyone wants to look
But
at it.
you'll tell us the ones that you think are the top 10 or whatever.
We will give you, this is similar to what you'll get. This is a book in Wiscasset. I can't show you the names, but you'll get a book like this. It will have our time frame in it. It will have the job ad. It will have where every single one came from, their names, and they'll have the top 10 in here. We will also give you information about those. So this is what you will get. And this one has all the applications in it, but I'll have that one. But you'll have just a smaller one of this, and you'll get that in half. And
Just curious, how many applications did you get from Wiscasset? Or are
we
you
got
still getting them?
33 or 32? 32 applications. in
And are you
Wiscasset.
still taking them in, or is that it?
No, we're interviewing, they narrowed it down to 6, and we're interviewing 5 of the 6 Wednesday and Thursday. We lost one who got a job, so. That's the issue that you're going to have is, there's a lot of openings right now. I mean, you can't do anything about it, although Topsom hired a manager. You've got Skowhegan is open, Bridgeton is open, you'll be open, York's going to be open very shortly, Brunswick's going to be open. But having said that, different people will look to different communities too. So we'll move as fast as we can and see what we get. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Great.
Look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Don.
Yep.
Motion to adjourn?
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh, and if you're
Quarter
playing
past,
with your little
7:30.
calendar, don't forget, I will not be here July 1st.
Yes. Thank you, Don.
Good night.
That's right, you're going to.
I will be in South Africa, yes.
By, are you going by Malaysia?
I will not be commuting from there, no, not for the meeting.
Back, you know, we'll set up a little camera and, you know, you can